Today, Cyprus is a top destination for tech companies and startups considering relocation. Why do businesses choose Cyprus? What are the steps of relocating a company and its team? Where do you find an office and how can you rent and furnish it? This video features real stories of relocation, interviews with company executives and practical advice. Most importantly, you will find out whether Cyprus is the right fit for you.
If we think about Cyprus 10 years ago, you barely meet a person who would say that Cyprus is tech hub, right? That Cyprus is tech island. Tech sector seen dramatic growth over past 10 years. 350% growth. Currently, Cyprus is second among European destinations on the volume of contribution of the tech sector into the GVA of Cyprus, which is 16%, 8.5 billion direct and indirect contribution. This is impressive.
We see a large number of real businesses have relocated to Cyprus. These companies are relocating their offices and hiring local talent to support their foreign and international operations. This influx is transforming the island. New schools are being established and many residential and commercial developments are underway. Additionally, hospitals and restaurants are opening, indicating that Cyprus has changed significantly.
In 2022, there was a significant influx of people, not just from post-Soviet countries, but also due to the situation in Israel. Following this influx, we have observed a relatively stable trend in the number of new projects. While the number of projects is increasing, the overall number of people is rising as well. We need to examine the statistics further. However, until the beginning of 2025, we do not expect to see a decline in the number of employees.
Last year, according to the Ministry of Innovation, there was increase of more than 120% of FDIs, foreign direct investment companies coming to Cyprus, and majority of them were tech companies.
One of the world's largest creators of digital content, with an audience of 2 billion subscribers on social media, the company TheSoul Publishing relocated to Cyprus in 2016.
The company has chosen to continue its business development in Cyprus and establish its headquarters here. As an international company with a presence in 70 countries and offices throughout Europe, we have experience operating in diverse markets. Cyprus offers a very favorable environment for business growth. First and foremost, the process for registering a legal entity is quick and efficient. Additionally, Cyprus has flexible tax systems that benefit both companies and employees, particularly those who relocate from third countries. Another significant aspect is the judicial system, which is based on English law and is present here in Cyprus. This provides a solid legal framework for our operations. Overall, the state is committed to fostering business development and attracting various enterprises and investments, aiming to progress together with the business community.
Why are so many companies choosing Cyprus today?
There are several reasons to consider Cyprus for business and investment. Firstly, the tax benefits are significant. Cyprus boasts one of the lowest corporate tax rates in Europe at just 12.5%. Additionally, there is no withholding tax on dividend payments, making it an attractive option for investors. Secondly, Cyprus has been a member of the European Union since 2004, which provides access to the European legal system and offers investment protection. Its strategic location at the crossroads of Europe, the Middle East, and Asia allows businesses to efficiently operate across multiple regions. Thirdly, Cyprus is very welcoming to foreign investment. The process of registering a company is straightforward, and the overall attitude of the government towards foreign businesses is positive. Lastly, the quality of life in Cyprus is highly appealing. With its clean seas, mild climate, and relative safety compared to larger European cities, it offers a pleasant living environment. The country is also seeing a growing number of tech events and a thriving IT community, which creates a supportive ecosystem for companies to develop and succeed.
4 years ago, basically, multinational founders, venture capital investors, they just sat together and decided that, okay, it's the time for us to unify our voice, to establish a non-profit organization which will represent us and serve as a bridge between the government and tech community. This is how TechIsland was born, and this is what TechIsland is. So we represent our members, employees of tech companies and tech business in Cyprus in all the advocacy efforts related to tech community. We are not only that, we're also community enablers because we represent more than 350 companies. They employ more than 20,000 employees in Cyprus, and we are like a connector. We try to make things smoother for them, connect them with the right pieces of the puzzle. Basically, TechIsland is like the main stakeholder between all the innovational ecosystem players, corporate, startups, venture capital investors, accelerators, government. Every pieces we mix together and leverage for the further growth of the economy of Cyprus and for the tech industry of Cyprus. We're not only economically contributing to the island, but also socially. Our members combine efforts in different social projects. Altogether, we've supported different social and educational activities for more than 5 million euro of direct contribution. We care about the growth of the industry, about educational needs of the youth and reskilling and upskilling of the local talent, and also about everything related to life and business of tech companies and tech employees in Cyprus.
So do you think Cyprus nowadays can compete with the major tech hubs as London, Dubai, Silicon Valley, San Francisco?
I'm certain that Cyprus not only can compete, but is competing. UK has abolished non-domicile status, and many UK citizens started to consider Cyprus for non-domicile status as well. And we saw that user journey when UBO is coming, main investor is coming for the reasons of non-domicile status, falls in love in Cyprus, and then brings a company here and brings presence here just because they want to be with, let's say, their top managers, surrounded by their top managers, and do business from here just because the combination of lifestyle and business from Cyprus is fascinating. So Cyprus is competing with London because of non-dom. Cyprus is competing with Dubai because of our pro-legal framework. We follow UK legal framework. Dubai is not. So when it comes to some of the disputes, it's easier to handle this in Cyprus rather than in Dubai. We have amazing tax benefits, tax incentives for companies, individual tax incentives. Government is currently considering a flat tax rate for stock options. Would it be 5 or 8%? It's anyway one of the best European incentives for stock options, which is relevant for startups. We have one of the lowest corporate tax. We have IP box. So the mixture of business benefits, lifestyle, it speaks for itself. So definitely Cyprus is on the spot when companies and individuals considering these specific locations.
As I mentioned, we have experience opening offices in various European countries. While it's certainly possible to make money in Europe, Cyprus offers significant advantages, such as the ability to hire more employees and engage in joint ventures due to its favorable tax incentives. This includes incentives for employees, the IP box tax regime, and a flexible taxation system. Therefore, the key factor for businesses and employees is, of course, the tax incentives.
Let's take a closer look at the taxes that Cypriot companies are required to pay.
The corporate tax rate in Cyprus is 12.5%, which is one of the lowest rates in Europe. Furthermore, there is no tax on dividends, no withholding tax on dividend payments, and no capital gains tax, except for real estate transactions within Cyprus, which do incur capital gains tax. Overall, Cyprus offers a very favorable tax regime for businesses.
Are there any special incentives for technology companies?
Cyprus is making every effort to attract IT companies, and is succeeding in doing so, largely thanks to the IP box or intellectual property regime, if we are talking specifically about software development or patents. The essence of this regime is that 80% of income from intellectual property is exempt from tax, meaning that only 20% is subject to taxation. We can talk about an effective corporate tax rate of 2.5%, which is likely unique in Europe.
In your experience, do tax incentives typically apply only to IT companies, or are there other regular businesses that relocate to Cyprus and benefit from this favorable tax climate?
As I mentioned earlier, the overall level of taxation in Cyprus is moderate, and tax incentives are also available for employees. For example, if your salary exceeds a certain limit, you can receive a 50% tax reduction.
How easy is to open a bank account and conduct financial transactions in Cyprus?
It's important to note that Cyprus, as a member of the European Union, must adhere to compliance regulations and anti-money laundering laws. As a result, opening a bank account can sometimes be a challenging process. If you are looking to open a business account, be prepared to provide a specific set of documents, including proof of the source of funds. Additionally, the account opening process may take several weeks. However, with the right approach, these challenges can be managed effectively.
Are there any additional incentives for investors in Cyprus if they invest in real estate or start a business?
You can take advantage of the special non-dom tax regime. We are discussing a 17-year exemption from tax on passive income, which is particularly convenient in conjunction with, for example, a Cypriot company. You become a shareholder in a Cypriot company, receive dividends, and pay 0% tax on those dividends. The only thing you have to pay is a contribution to the healthcare system, which is relatively low. We are referring to a maximum amount of less than 5,000 euros per annum.
The non-dom tax regime have been abolished in the UK, where this system was initially introduced. In 2023, Portugal also effectively abolished its non-habitual resident NHR regime. How likely is it that Cyprus will follow suit and abolish this regime in the near future?
The frequent questions and extensive discussions surrounding this topic suggest that it is more likely to be extended rather than cancelled. The preferential regime for the first applicants is set to end soon, and one of the key issues being discussed, among others, is the planned tax reform in Cyprus, which aims to extend this regime. It may be replaced by a flat fee, such as an annual payment, similar to those seen in Italy or Greece. However, the exact amount remains unclear. Therefore, it is likely that the non-domiciled status will remain, along with the IP box and other tax advantages in Cyprus. I believe Cyprus will maintain these benefits for as long as possible.
The word that best characterizes life in Cyprus is comfort. As a business owner, when you recognize that Cyprus is an ideal jurisdiction for optimizing taxation and safeguarding your company's capital globally, you should also take note that your family will feel comfortable here. This combination ultimately helps you attract the right audience. Limassol and Cyprus will continue to grow and establish themselves on the world stage as desirable relocation destinations, thanks to the numerous benefits available here. It is vital, however, that we maintain a sense of uniqueness and comfort, along with the incredible cosmopolitan culture that allows businesses, personal relationships, and families to thrive in this environment.
Who is this location best suited for?
This location is particularly well-suited for business owners, especially in the IT and technology sectors. The introduction of various tax incentives and benefits for these companies makes it a very favorable jurisdiction. It appeals to those who are tired of paying high taxes in their home countries and are looking to optimize their family expenses. Many who benefit from this are young professionals or individuals with young families. Cyprus is one of the best places in the world to live for several reasons. The educational system enables families to select environments that best suit their needs. Additionally, Cyprus is one of the safest countries in Europe, which adds to its appeal. The quality of the sea is also exceptional. Cyprus ranks first in Europe for the cleanliness of its coastal waters. Living here, we enjoy these benefits every day.
Do you enjoy your life here in Cyprus?
Yes, of course. I'm here for 4 years already, and it's an amazing place for families, actually. English education, the level of hospitality, very similar culture, religion, because I'm coming from Ukraine. So yeah, Cyprus is like no other place.
Which countries are companies relocating to Cyprus from?
The primary regions of interest are the post-Soviet states, particularly Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. Additionally, there has been a significant influx of companies from Israel and Europe, the United Kingdom, France, and Germany. There are also some more exotic destinations, including Australia, for example.
If we consider relocating a company of 10 to 15 people from Germany, France, or Norway to Cyprus, how long will the entire relocation process take?
Once everything is planned, the relocation is likely to take around 3 to 6 months to complete.
I want to either start a new company in Cyprus or relocate my current company and team there. What challenges might I encounter regarding migration, and what options do I have for obtaining a residence permit for myself as a shareholder and director of the company, as well as for my employees?
When it comes to companies with foreign interests, investors and employees can expect to receive a residence permit in Cyprus relatively quickly. To do so, they must meet several requirements. One of the main requirements is a minimum investment of 200,000 euros in the company's authorized capital. For highly qualified specialists from third countries, the salary must be at least 2,500 euros gross.
Per month?
Per month. When obtaining a work permit, an employee of a company with foreign interests cannot be absent from Cyprus for more than 90 days.
Do I have to visit Cyprus every 3 months?
Yes, at a minimum. It's also important to note that the family members of an employee working for a Cypriot company with foreign interests, specifically children and spouses, are eligible for a residence permit in Cyprus. Additionally, spouses are permitted to work for any company in Cyprus, affording them full access to the local labor market.
In practice, how long does it take to obtain a work residence permit in Cyprus?
Once all the necessary documents are gathered and submitted, including medical examinations, you can expect the process to take approximately 4 to 5 weeks.
How easy is to find qualified employees in Cyprus if I open a company here?
Although Cyprus is a relatively small island, the number of companies relocating here has increased in recent years, creating more opportunities in the local job market. This means it is possible to find high-quality expatriate staff. There are also limited opportunities within the local market. Still, you have the option to relocate employees from abroad without any complications or special requirements, such as examinations or tests, when bringing in staff from a third country.
Do I understand correctly that Cyprus is now a gateway to the European Union for highly skilled professionals from third countries, including those from the former Soviet Union, the Middle East and Asia?
Based on a combination of factors, Cyprus is one of the most optimal routes to the European Union.
How comfortable were employees with relocating to Cyprus in terms of adapting to the new environment? finding suitable accommodation and striking a balance between salaries and the cost of living.
Relocating can be stressful for everyone, and our employees were no exception. We recognized that we had come to this country as guests and needed to provide support, starting with essential information. We informed them about how things work here, the local rules, and highlighted the friendly nature of the Cypriot people, who warmly welcome all visitors. We also assisted them in finding accommodation. We have a saying that your first home often feels less than perfect because it's hard to compare when you're new. To help with this process, we created a checklist to evaluate potential properties. In the past, obtaining permits was a significant challenge, often requiring a lengthy process. However, the situation has improved due to increased interest in attracting individuals to Cyprus, which has a positive impact on the economy. For instance, our relationship with the migration service has greatly improved, making it possible to acquire residence permits quickly and legalize one's status. Additionally, a citizenship program is now in place, which will encourage many employees to stay in Cyprus, allowing them to settle down, raise families, and continue working here.
As a foreign citizen residing in Cyprus with both a work permit and a residence permit, am I eligible to obtain Cypriot citizenship and therefore become a European Union citizen in the future? Additionally, does Cyprus allow dual citizenship?
Cyprus does permit dual citizenship. Recently, a naturalization scheme was explicitly introduced for highly qualified professionals. To qualify, you must have lived in Cyprus for either 4 or 5 years, depending on your level of Greek proficiency. A B1 level requires 4 years, while an A2 level requires 5 years.
If I become a citizen of Cyprus, will my family members also receive Cypriot citizenship? My spouse? My children?
If we are talking about minor children, they typically receive citizenship almost immediately after one of their parents becomes a citizen. A spouse can also apply for Cypriot citizenship after 3 years.
How many people do you currently have working in Cyprus?
We have around 250 employees in Cyprus who come to the office every day. Additionally, we have more team members who work remotely from Larnaca and Nicosia. In 2018, we decided to move to the BG Waywin Plaza, and we have been successfully operating here for many years. Our branding, TheSoul Publishing, is visible from a distance, signaling our commitment to staying here for the long term. The location is very convenient, and we maintain a great relationship with our landlords. We also have the opportunity to set up a cafeteria for our employees, providing meals. Not every business center would agree to this arrangement. Plus, we are in the creative business, and sometimes we need to bring children or even dogs and cats to the set. It's important to be able to discuss this with a landlord. Overall, the company culture, location, and flexibility are all important factors in choosing an office space.
The Waywin Plaza office center, which houses TheSoul Publishing's offices, is owned and managed by BG Waywin Developments. This company has specialized in the construction and management of Class A office business centers for approximately 10 years. How many office centers do you currently manage?
We manage 2 in Limassol and 1 in Nicosia, totaling 3 business centers. We entered this sector many years ago, at a time when few people were investing in commercial real estate. We recognized that while Cyprus was well developed in terms of residential real estate, there was a shortage of high-quality commercial properties. So we decided to focus on this market.
Where is the greatest demand for office space? In Limassol city center, closer to the sea, or in the capital of Cyprus, Nicosia?
When comparing the 2 cities, Limassol clearly stands out as the leader. 7 years ago, the business center was located in the old parts of the town, where banks and law firms were situated. However, the dynamics have changed. There's now less need to visit banks or lawyers in person, as most services can be handled remotely. As a result, companies are increasingly opting for locations near the highway that are part of newer developments with good infrastructure. These areas also need to offer affordable residential options, and having schools nearby is crucial. This is because employees prefer to rent or buy homes close to their offices.
The Marfields Group is based in Limassol, primarily because all of our major landmark developments are located here. We recognize that the market situation varies across the island, with Limassol accounting for the majority of demand. Limassol is undoubtedly the main hub and center of attraction. We have been established here since 2006, operating from the Waywin Plaza office center, which serves as our administrative office. This location is very convenient for us as it houses our lawyers, construction, and finance departments, along with the owner and key executives. Additionally, we have offices located in various areas, corresponding to our different projects. The location is advantageous because it makes all administrative resources accessible. We are also conveniently located near the highway and have great neighbors.
Historically, Limassol has been a hub for business for several reasons. Firstly, its coastal location offers a pleasant environment, enhanced by views of the sea. Secondly, the city boasts a strong, supportive business community, which is crucial for companies considering relocation. This culture of mutual assistance is deeply rooted among local entrepreneurs. Newcomers are often welcomed and encouraged to share knowledge and experiences. The strong sense of camaraderie in Limassol promotes a culture of collaboration among its residents. Additionally, there are plenty of options for modern office spaces, making it convenient for businesses to establish themselves here.
Finding a suitable office in Limassol will soon become easier due to an increase in available options and the construction of numerous high-quality properties. While the ideal office market in Limassol hasn't yet fully materialized, several exciting large-scale developments in commercial real estate are planned, which could significantly transform the market. Previously, we witnessed external migration and relocation, but now we can expect internal movement among companies. Employees will likely shift from Class B offices to Class A offices that offer modern features. This trend in Limassol is just around the corner, and I believe it will be fully realized by 2026.
In your opinion, how should a technology company considering relocation to Cyprus select its office space?
For companies in the startup phase, or those that are still small, the requirements are quite standard. They should seek a high-quality, modern business center, located in a desirable area. On the other hand, larger companies that have established their own culture and way of working require a different approach. They often need a more unfinished space that they can customize extensively to fit their specific needs.
What are the main trends in the office space market for business centers in Cyprus over the next 2-3 years?
We expect to see the opening of more co-working spaces, as there are currently not many available. The emergence of small businesses and startups is driving the demand for these smaller spaces. There is still potential for the development of large business centers as well. Although many have been launched and various construction projects are ongoing, the market still has room for further growth.
What are you focusing on, co-working spaces or separate offices for companies?
I believe that co-working spaces are currently in high demand, but that isn't our main focus. We are primarily focused on serving larger businesses. As I mentioned, these companies require the entire space provided to them and typically customize it to meet their specific needs. We assist them with that process.
How has the pandemic affected demand for office space? Has it increased or decreased due to many companies allowing employees to work from home?
During the pandemic, employees worked remotely, but this did not result in any long-term changes in the demand for office space. In other words, companies did not close their offices or reduce their office space. Instead, employees were quickly brought back to the office.
The biggest challenge companies are currently facing is figuring out how to get employees back into the office. Many have already addressed this issue, In some organizations, certain employees still work remotely several days a week, while others have fully transitioned back to in-office work. This challenge has become a significant focus for us, as well as for office designers and builders across the industry. There have been numerous requests for spaces where employees can have privacy, make calls, and hold conversations. Many meetings involve just 1, 2, 3, or 4 people, which further complicates the need for appropriate spaces. Most often, employees come to the office to collaborate with their colleagues. This presents a major challenge, creating a comfortable environment where individuals feel at home while also being at work. This need has led to the development of large collaborative spaces, kitchens that transition into coffee zones, gyms, and additional areas for relaxation. It is increasingly important to strike a balance between work, rest, and short breaks throughout the day. Some workplaces even provide areas where employees can come in to focus on their tasks for an hour or two, allowing them to work alone in a comfortable setting that feels like home, without actually going home.
How would you rate the overall quality of office space in Cyprus?
There are some excellent office options available. However, they tend to be quite expensive at the moment. For instance, in some cases, the price is up to 120 euros per square meter.
Are there any offices currently available in your business centers?
All office spaces in Limassol are occupied, but we do have available spaces in Nicosia.
What are the current costs of renting office space in Cyprus?
The choice of city for your business center is significantly influenced by various factors, including location and price. Limassol stands out as the most expensive city, with costs potentially being twice as high as those in Nicosia, Paphos, or Larnaca. Within Limassol, rental prices can also vary greatly, sometimes by as much as 50%. For example, while a rental price might be around 20 euros per square meter, waterfront properties can command prices as high as 100 euros per square meter, reflecting the premium costs in prime locations.
The demand for office real estate in Limassol is remarkably high, resulting in exceptionally high prices. However, many small companies that are relocating to Cyprus want to take advantage of the tax benefits that country offers, while also minimizing their office rental costs. What would be the best solution for these companies?
Our company has decided to build a business center in Nicosia to support companies and projects in the area. The Asteroid Business Center is situated in the heart of Nicosia, which is a prime location. Notably, the rental rates at this business center are almost half of those in Limassol.
Your building is very striking, eye-catching, and somewhat reminiscent of the Burj Al Arab. What is the rental cost in Nicosia, in the Asteroid Business Center? And if we take Trilogy, for example, in the seafront in Limassol, what would be the difference in rental cost?
I don't know the rental rates for Trilogy today, but from what I've heard, they're around 100 euros per square meter.
And in Nicosia?
In Nicosia, it will be about a quarter of that.
Is the cost 25 euros per square meter?
Yes, that's correct. Companies can save not only on office rent and space, but also on real estate, which is significantly cheaper than in Limassol. This makes it an optimal solution for companies that are carefully considering a new jurisdiction while optimizing the costs associated with moving and relocation.
If you want to save money and rent a good office at a lower price, is Nicosia a good option?
Yes, this is a really good option. Nicosia has a vibrant urban atmosphere that makes it feel like a real city. After living in Cyprus for 7 years, I've come to appreciate that you can easily visit the sea from Nicosia, usually about once a month. In comparison to Limassol, office space in Nicosia is definitely more affordable.
How long does it typically take in Cyprus from the start of negotiations to the signing of the final lease agreement, allowing you to move in and start working?
In Limassol, this process is very quick. Companies here tend to focus on results, and have a clear understanding of their needs, recognizing that the market won't wait. Therefore, when a client identifies a suitable business center or office, they usually finalize the deal swiftly, often within a week. In contrast, the market in Nicosia is slower and more relaxed. Companies take their time in making decisions and are aware that various offers are available, which reduces the urgency to decide quickly.
Is there a practice in Cyprus that allows tenants to eventually purchase the premises they are renting?
It isn't very common, but such cases do occur. Typically, this is agreed upon when both parties negotiate and reach an agreement.
Does your company offer this option?
We maintain open communication with our clients, and if both parties are interested and we can find a mutually beneficial solution, we are open to it.
What kind of return can you expect today from renting office space in Cyprus?
Realistically, somewhere between 5 and
10% per annum?
Yes.
But that's not bad compared to many other European countries.
Yes, it's a stable income.
What is the occupancy rate for office space?
In Limassol, recent years have shown a consistent 100% occupancy rate with no downtime.
If I'm an investor seeking a reliable partner with extensive experience in Cyprus and a deep understanding of the local market, I want to build my own business center and rent it out. Can you assist me?
Absolutely. We would be happy to collaborate on a new business projects. I recommend that new investors in Cyprus consider joint ventures to launch their projects. Navigating the market alone can be quite challenging without the right knowledge. Thus, partnering with someone who is already familiar with the local landscape and has the necessary expertise is a smart approach for starting your investment.
When building, what characteristics do you prioritize?
Location is crucial. Finding the right plot of land is essential, preferably in an undeveloped area. Additionally, the size of the plot is important. We typically look for spaces that are over 3,000 square meters for office use.
What kind of budget should we expect if we want to build a small office center in Limassol and rent it out?
The primary challenge is locating the right plot of land. Once we find the land, the budget will depend on the size of the plot. However, it's tough to provide an exact figure at this stage. We anticipate costs starting at $5 million and more.
The company Tengo has 2 offices, one in Cyprus and second in Poland. They specialize in interior design for office spaces, construction and finishing works, and offer assistance with office selection and relocation. How many people work at Tengo today?
Currently, about 50 employees are working at Tengo. We have expertise from both the large market and the island.
Apart from Cyprus and Poland, in which countries are you implementing projects?
We currently have projects in Berlin, Amsterdam, and Serbia, which are 3 key locations for us. We also have projects, though less frequently, in Lithuania and Latvia.
Are the office spaces you are creating in Cyprus different from those in Dubai, London, or New York?
When discussing an average office in London, we typically refer to spaces ranging from 2,000 to 3,000 square meters. In contrast, an average office in Limassol is only 500 to 1,000 square meters, and even smaller before 2022. This difference has a significant impact on the ratio of workspaces to other areas within the office. For instance, if a London office designates 10% of its space for collaboration, equating to 200 square meters, an office in Cyprus cannot simply apply the same percentage. Instead, it needs to allocate a larger portion of its space for collaborative areas. The climate in Dubai and likely Tel Aviv may not be much different, but the approach to lunch break areas varies across European countries. In some places, employees often leave the business center to enjoy lunch in nearby outdoor areas, especially during the summer. However, this practice is rare in Cyprus, where it is essential to create air-conditioned spaces within the office to ensure a comfortable environment for meals, given the limited availability of public spaces in the city. As a result, companies must strive to create and cultivate public spaces within their offices. For example, in our Polish office, we can easily step outside for a walk and have discussions in the nearby park. In Cyprus, due to both the climate and the scarcity of external spaces, it becomes even more crucial to create internal areas where employees can change their environment. Enclosed verandas, courtyards, and similar spaces work particularly well for this purpose.
What kinds of tasks do companies currently based in Cyprus come to you with? And what kinds of tasks and problems can you help them deal with?
We always advise our clients to start working with us from the very beginning, specifically, as soon as they decide to relocate and resolve their legal matters. We have encountered numerous cases where companies chose their premises and signed contracts, only to find out later that they could not move in. This is particularly true for older properties in Cyprus, which often have unique layouts. At first glance, it may seem straightforward for a company to select a space based on square meters. However, upon reviewing the technical specifications and comparing them with the actual premises, clients often discover that they need to either search for a new office or adjust their operational tasks. Therefore, we advise starting this process from day one, as soon as you decide that you need an office. Our goal is to support you throughout the entire process, from the initial planning stages to your successful move into your new office. We also offer post-warranty services to ensure everything continues to run smoothly.
What size company should contact you for your service?
In principle, any company seeking office space is welcome to reach out. If a company recognizes that it has outgrown co-working arrangements or has outgrown having a single office in a co-working space or multiple workstations, we are open to working with them. We don't have a specific employee range, such as only working with companies that have 100 or 200 employees.
What is the minimum or optimal budget required to organize and create a comfortable office in Cyprus for 20 people? Are there any average numbers?
This is the most frequently asked question in Cyprus. Well, if we're talking about an office being created from scratch, where you arrive and there are concrete walls and columns, then the budget starts at 800 euros per square meter. There have been projects at 2,000 euros per square meter, but this is rare. Instead, it is around 1,000 to 1,200 euros per square meter. This is the standard cost of renovation work in Europe, except for London, where it is more expensive.
How long does the entire process take, from selecting an office location to having it ready for occupancy on a turnkey basis when you can move in and start working?
The timeline largely depends on the type of office. In Cyprus, a common practice is to create a so-called white box office. This type of office is fully ready for occupation but lacks partitions and some decorative elements. For these offices, the setup can be completed relatively quickly, typically within 2 to 3 months, depending on the speed of material and furniture delivery. In contrast, if you are starting with a raw concrete space, the process will naturally take longer, ranging from 6 to 8 months.
What are some of the most interesting office projects or clients you have worked with recently that you can share?
We have many clients in the fintech industry. We can now discuss our work for the Plata office. The same building also houses the Unlimit office, another prominent fintech company. Additionally, we have collaborated with various game development companies. However, they tend to be more secretive due to the unique challenges they face with marketing and other factors.
Can you provide an example of an office that exceeded the client's expectations?
We don't just sell office chairs. We offer a finished product that we create in partnership with our clients. This process can be lengthy and sometimes complicated, involving many questions, regulations, and project details. Our primary goal is for the client to feel that they have achieved their objectives after going through this detailed journey with us. It's not just about impressing the client, it's also about making a positive impact on their employees and staff. One of the most rewarding experiences for me is visiting a local school in the Cypriot community and hearing someone say, "Oh, I work in this office, and you did an excellent job." That feedback brings me the greatest satisfaction.
Are there any downsides to living in Cyprus?
Yes, there are some. Adjusting to life here might be challenging for everyone. For instance, someone coming from a big city, where punctuality in business dealings is the norm, may struggle. In Cyprus, it's less likely that you can simply make an appointment, arrive on time, and receive, for example, a required certificate without any delays. The local lifestyle tends to be more relaxed about deadlines and agreements, which can take some time to get used to. You will also need to adapt to the pace of life and the heat. It's pretty hot here, but many people find that they eventually adjust to the climate.
While some might see the island's size as a negative, others may consider it a positive aspect. For those who thrive in bustling urban environments, Cyprus may feel small.
What are the main mistakes companies and individuals make when relocating to Cyprus?
The main mistake is incorrect planning and budgeting. The second problem is the adaptation of families, particularly for employees with families, as the large influx of companies to Cyprus has led to difficulties in securing places in private kindergartens and private schools. This problem is being solved, but at the moment there are objectively not enough places for everyone. However, large companies take care of this in advance. And thirdly, I would highlight the choice of location. Even though we are talking about 4 cities for office space in Cyprus, the choice of location plays a key role.
The first mistake is rushing into signing contracts, because you first need to analyze how suitable the premises are. There are nuances in how the area itself is calculated. It is calculated slightly differently from a technical point of view. Look at the ventilation systems and the electrical wiring. This is especially true for older buildings. This often comes as a surprise to many of our clients. They are surprised that there is no ventilation in the building. This is usually the case in Cyprus, especially in older buildings. They have no ventilation, only air conditioning, and that's a big deal. And also the communication with the landlord. Many landlords who are not professionals have built 1 or 2 buildings for themselves. This is both a plus and a minus, but it can often be a minus when it comes to professionalism and communication, especially when it comes to real estate and brokerage, and so on. It is easy to enter into a contract, but as is often the case, it becomes much more challenging to get out of it. Be careful before signing. Look, check and consult with people who have been here for a long time.
What advice would you give to companies that are planning to relocate and are in the process of choosing a country?
In any business interaction, human recommendations are crucial, regardless of advancements in AI and technology. It's essential to find someone who can assess your specific needs and help make informed decisions, leveraging their understanding of the local market and connections with local consultants. This is why human relationships are so crucial in business.
If you need help relocating and moving to Cyprus, you can find my and my colleagues' contact details in the video description. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you in Cyprus!